All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people of us of freedom all over the world. Wherever you're joining us from today, you're highly welcome once again to this wonderful YouTube platform that gives you quality news and information on everything happening in Biafran territory. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel and make sure you turn on your notification. This is Exposed News TV. Now let us go straight up to the issue, still on the issue of the seat at home, and I'm going to be taking you back to a very important news. It was the news was a month ago, and despite that information, that order from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the Zoological Republic of Nigeria to the Janjaweed terrorist army that has been killing innocent people in Biafran land, despite that order, do you know that yet one thing that Biafrans have shown is how resolute they are, and despite all said and done, they continue to show that they will continue to fight for the freedom of their people. It's as simple as that. They've continued to show that they are resolute in their quest to get the freedom that they truly deserve. And after even how many months, despite that order, and despite different troops, both Operation Udoka 1, Operation Udoka 2, and formerly Python Dance, people that has taken the blood of Biafran, Ndenaro Opera, life and direct, despite that, and despite everything, even as the Prime Minister Simon Ekpan Joko is not still around, yet Biafrans have shown, they are resolute, that they are resolute in fighting for their freedom, which they got, But the reality is that the sit at home has continued, despite all said and done, even during this period. This period of Yuletide, this festive period, Biafrans are still keeping to that standard. Imagine, today being 30th, the last Monday of the year. The bustling and rustling. People are trying to give their last sale so that they can travel, by tomorrow. Yet so many Biafrans still maintained the seat at home. Let me tell you, most shops in Biafran land, most markets, top markets you know of. Are you talking of Ariara in Aba? Are you talking of Ungwa Road? Are you talking of Onitsha Main Market? And the rest of these well-known markets, even in Douglas, down to Douglas in Imo State, none opened, despite the whole bustling. We know how these people, how they maintain this their selling, and how Igbos like to sell. But the reality is that they've shown, despite the factions, despite the issues, when it comes to sit at home, Biafrans speak with one voice, and that is the most important thing. So I'll be dropping videos, but I'll be dropping a news, on this sit at home, when Tinubu ordered the buying of Biafrans by calling anybody enforcing sit at home, a treasonable act. Let us go into that news before we go further.
Tinubu declares sit-at-home treasonable, vows to crush Biafra agitators. Hear the news in details. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, you are welcome once again to Biafra Unite channel / television this very moment. Today's date is June 2024, and I have a very important information for every one of you listening to my voice right now from where you are all over the world. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, I want you to pay very good attention to this very news, because it's very, very important. I can assure you, my people, I don't want to talk too much. There is no need for preambles. Let's just delve straight into the news. And as you can see, I am reading from one of the Zugota media platform, and their title says, "Sit at home. Tinubu gives marching order to soldiers over buying in Abia State." Oh, so there was no marching order before. So there was no marching order before. It's only now. Now let us read. President Bola Tinubu has described the buying of soldiers in the southeast as treasonable act and condemnable. According to the defense headquarters, said that the soldiers were attacked in Abia State by members of the indigenous people of Biafra and ESN during sit at home. Let them continue living in the past. Let them continue to live in the past. There is nothing like ESN or IPOB. There is nothing like ESN. ESN is a thing of the past. The earlier you understand, I know that you understand, I'm very sure. But the earlier you acknowledge it, the better for all of you. Now, Tinubu then ordered the military to fish out the perpetrators of the act, adding that the restraint of the military should not be interpreted as weakness. Okay. Asorok, Abuja. President Bola Tinubu weighed in on Saturday, June 1st, on the sit-at-home action in the southeast, labeling it treasonable. The defense headquarters said that the soldiers were attacked by the people who were members of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB and the Eastern Security Network ESN during the sit-at-home called by IPOB to mark this year's Biafra Day. First of all, IPOB never called for sit-at-home. If they rant on Radio Fulani, the former Radio Biafra, if there was any ranting of such, I do not know. The only people that have the right and legitimacy to order for any action across Biafra territory is the recognized Biafra Republic government in exile, led by the Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. They are the only, even if you go to Southeast, where you call Southeast today, and ask who ordered sit at home, they will tell you it is the Biafra government in exile through Simon Ekpa. President Tinubu directed security agencies to fish out the masterminds and executors of the buy-ins, as well as those calling for sit at home. To fish them out. Mad people everywhere. So, are you living in the Jupiter, or you are living in this planet Earth, that you don't know those calling for sit at home, or those agitating for Biafra? Are you living in the Jupiter, or in the Mercury, or you are living in this world, in this planet Earth? Unbelievable. Now let's continue. Tinubu speaks tough on violence against military. The president said the exercise of restraint by security forces in dealing with violent attacks on its personnel should not be mistaken for weakness, pointing out that the federal government will not hesitate to take appropriate action when the lives of its security officers and men are wantonly wasted. The president, who put his thought on the constant abuse and attacks on state agents by the citizens they have sworn to protect, in a statement he personally offered last night, lamented the recent development and expressed his condolences to the bereaved families and colleagues of the deceased, as well as the nation's security forces. Now, Tinubu, or whatever you call yourself, the reason why your so-called security agents are being attacked by citizens, so-called citizens, because I know there is nothing like that, is because they are no longer wanted. They are evil. They are terrorists. What do you expect when you integrate a known terrorist, Boko Haram members, into the military? They go about buying innocent people, harassing and intimidating innocent people. They are being seen as occupying forces. So they are not seen as, security agents as being portrayed. They are not seen like that. They are being seen as spies of innocent citizens. That's why they are being attacked, if there is anything like that, wherever they are being seen within the public space. Yes. Now let me show you the original statement from the so-called Mr. President. This is from the official and verified X handle of the so-called Mr. President. He said, I have received yet another disheartening news story about the buying of 5 soldiers by suspected militants of the IPOB organization. I don't want to use all those nonsense words. He said, the slain soldiers were on peacekeeping duty in Aba. Oh, peacekeeping duty. This is the same story they used during Okwama. This is the same story. Peacekeeping duty. Soldiers on peacekeeping duty. Soldiers with AK-47. What happened to the police? Soldiers on peacekeeping duty that blocked the road in the name of checkpoints, and they are on a peacekeeping duty. Woe unto all of you. Now, there's in Abia State on Thursday when they were murdered, just 2 months after a similar tragic incident happened in Okwama, Delta State. Then pack your load and leave. Leave our land. That is the only solution for all of you. These unwarranted, barbaric, and evil acts are condemnable and should never be condoned or tolerated in their country. Thank God you say in your country, in their country, not our country. As far as we are concerned, our country is Biafra, not the Zoological Republic. And any armed carrying personnel in our country that is not a member of Biafra Liberation Army or Biafra Defense Forces is a terrorist and must be treated as one. Now, their soldiers and the police have the onerous duty to protect all of them from aggressors and criminal non-state actors. Hundreds of them have paid the ultimate price in fulfillment of their duty, while some have experienced the indignity of being manhandled by the people they protect. They surely do not deserve the mindless attacks by unruly elements in their society. The federal government will come down heavily against those who have made it a habit to needlessly attack the officers and men of their armed forces. On no account should anyone under any guise have the audacity to buy agents of the state. Now, something is not, clicking here. Something is not clicking. Why are they overemphasizing on this incident in Aba when hundreds, if not thousands of them are being sent to judgment in the bushes of Biafra land? These people are being defeated each and every day they come, to confront our men on ground, including the time they come with their, fighter jets. These people are being defeated each and every day they go back with their body bags. Why are they overemphasizing on this one? That, is it because of the videos? Because of the videos that went viral. That's why everywhere is, everybody's panicking. What about those that the videos are not being posted because nobody is there to post the video, because these things are happening on battleground inside the bushes? Nobody's talking about it. What about those ones that are being sent to judgment in the north by the terrorists, by Boko Haram and so? Why nobody's talking about it? Because there's no video. So they play down on them. They hide them because they don't want other people to know that they are buying like flies and chickens, so that others who want to join the so-called armed forces do not panic, because they want more people to join so that they keep on buying them on a daily basis as they create all kinds of terrorist groups in the northern part of the zoo.
Today is the last Monday of the year 2024, being Carnage Day. You can see the people of Tinubu State is keeping it holy. Yeah. Monday. Today is Monday 2024, the last Monday of the year. And you can see that all shops are closed. All shops are closed. Monday 6th at 7, 2024. This is the last Monday of the year 2024. Today is 30th December. Carners Day, and we're keeping it holy.
For these criminals to even convince you, for these criminals to even have the opportunity to talk to you, for these criminals like Bam Bam Bam, like Sonia Akparawa, like Ogenkere, like Imam Maduabo, like this will be Nadi, Chomo, Majo Irobi. For these criminals, and their likes, to even come near you, that means you must have put your leg or your body near them. That's why I said, you must make yourself available near them for them to tell you their stupid stories. If you don't go near them, they cannot have the opportunity to tell you their crazy story. How can somebody say that he was appointed by CRC, Conflict Resolution Committee, that the Brigade Cabinet had a meeting and dissolved officially? The Brigade Cabinet officially conducted a meeting and dissolved the CRC headed by this Imam Madrabo. Okay, no. By a vote, it was voted on. The vote was about 20 or 21 to 9 by the Brigade Cabinet under His Excellency Simon Ekpa. We took a vote, and that was like 2-3 weeks ago, I can't even remember, to dissolve the Conflict Resolution Committee, which is just a small mere committee working under the government to resolve issues. If there are people that have problems and we do not want them to disturb the government, we just push them to those people. But we dissolve this CRC when they stepped out of their boundaries to write a letter to overthrow our Obatobie, our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, without the approval of the Brigade Cabinet, without the approval of the government, without the approval of any leadership of the Biafra Republic government in exile. Immediately, they didn't see Obatobia 1 or 2 days. This small CRC committee that they said they elected their fellow criminals to lead them went and wrote a letter, and that letter, I believe most of you have seen it online, to overthrow our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, according to them, to appoint somebody that will take over Obatobie's position. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has laid a solid structure for Brigade and for the United States of Biafra from day one, from beginning to end. There is no vacancy anywhere in the government under Obatobie, not even one. But to show you how criminally minded this CRC, headed by Mama Dabo and Professor Chomo Okoma and their gang, John Iwabi, is, they know that Obatobie has a structure in place. They went ahead to write that letter, that illegal letter. And when that letter, and again, I hear somebody was saying, the Imam Madam was saying, they wrote the letter. And what they wanted was, after we come back from Finland, they will start discussing the letter. But they already circulated the letter to the whole world. Anything you post in a place where there are more than 3, 4, 5 people online, it's going to go to the whole world. How are you going to secure that it's only just those 5 people? That is why when we have meetings like this, we know the whole world is going to know what we are saying. They're going to hear what we are saying. You're going to deceive yourself if anything we say is not on BBC or CNN or in the Defense Army or like the Zoo government or the home. You're going to be deceiving yourself if you think it's not going to be known because it's online. So when they say that They wanted it to be discussed after we come from Finland, but it is these same criminals that went and posted it on the Briggy Cabinet Forum. That Briggy Cabinet Forum, we have over 60 something individuals there. How do you expect that to be private? And they forwarded it to me. This same Imam Madabo, he forwarded that criminal letter to me. That he and his group, engineered by this Ogenkere, they wanted Ogenkere to take over Odogu's position. That was clearly just what that letter says. And that was why we have to call an emergency meeting of the Brigade cabinet members to discuss the letter that has been publicly displayed. It's not as if the CRC made that decision and kept it to themselves. That would have been a different thing. If they made that decision, kept it to themselves till after Finland, they can say, okay, they're going to present it to me. I am the chief of staff. There is a reason for that position. Just like everybody here have their position, which they played for the Biafra government, even and approved by the prime minister. But no, what they did was to post it publicly on the Brigade cabinet, where there's over 60-something people. Post it privately to some Brigade cabinet members, which I am among the people. I received the letter from Imam Madrabo. And they know they do not have the right to do what they are doing. Conflict resolution is just a very small, one of the smallest committee we have under the Biafra government to resolve disputes that arise, maybe two Brigade cabinet member, maybe they don't like themselves, or somebody said this, or the one but somebody gossip, because we do not want them to disturb the activities and the functionings of the government. That was why Obatobe established that government. So now, when the Brigade cabinet called an emergency meeting based on this thing, during that meeting, this same Imam Madrabo that signed his name on that overthrow letter, we, the cabinet, many people, we reached out to him. We were calling him to come into the meeting and explain to us the meaning of this letter that he wrote, he and his cohorts. We were waiting for Imam Madrabo for minutes, for hours during the cabinet meeting. He refused. He disappeared. He didn't want to come into the Brigade cabinet meeting. But his signature was on that letter to overthrow Obatobe, our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, and appoint a replacement when he knows that Odogu already have a chief of staff. It falls within my office if there is a need to replace any staff under this government, both in this USB and on the Brigade. But because they have their own agenda, because they know who they are working for, their intention was to disrupt what Obatobe has put in place. When Brigade cabinet member waited for him to come and explain, we waited throughout that meeting. He didn't show up. Many people reached out to him privately to tell him to come into the meeting. He refused. So always watch their trend. When we have Brigade cabinet meetings and we invite these criminals to come to the meeting and officially explain themselves, their trademark is they always refuse to come in. But they will feel comfortable to go behind and be lying to Biafrans. They will feel comfortable going behind to be lying to Obatobe. They will feel comfortable going behind to disrupt the facts and confuse those who they were able to confuse. Imam Madabo refused to come to the cabinet meeting. Based on that, the cabinet took a decision to dissolve the CRC because what they did was not within their power to do that. And we put it to vote. And the majority, about 20 or 21, voted against 9 of them. That was how the CRC, under the Biafra Republic government in exile, United States of Biafra, de facto government was dissolved till today. We have not revisited that. So as of today, that CRC committee stands dissolved. So how come this same CRC we dissolved like 3 weeks ago now went behind? We dissolved them with a vote from the cabinet of the Biafra Republic government in exile. Now went behind like 3 days or 4 days ago, I don't know, to now come together again and say they are appointing another criminal among them, Ogenkere, to lead who I don't even know. So what is the justification for that, if not just criminality to destroy what Obatobia is building? Usually, I don't want to go into details on these kind of issues, but because I know what is going on, that is why every now and then I just want to tell Biafrans so that everybody is going to be on the same page and know what is going on. So that when you hear their lies publicly, you will ask them the necessary question. I usually prefer when people ask me specific question, and I'm going to go ahead and explain to them. That takes me to the next point. One of these criminals called Bam 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 went ahead. I saw when he was saying and lying to Biafrans, oh, how much he lost Simon Ekpa. Oh, how much they are communicating with men on ground. Oh, how much. And I tell Biafrans, anybody that is truly following our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, you must dissociate yourself from this criminal called Bam 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 and his cohorts, Sonny Akparawa, Ogenkere, the one that is called Success. Any true Biafran following Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, make sure you do not associate yourself with that criminal element called Success, who I know has run away to Ghana to hide. Because as you are planning, others are planning, and that's all I keep telling people. When you think you know something, you do not know what Obatobia has put in place to destroy that thing you know. And that's why initially I will always reach out to you. I will always encourage people. Let us follow the footsteps. Let us follow the agenda of the Prime Minister. It is the right thing to do. But if you refuse, if you decide there's something you know that the COS does not know, if you decide there's something you know that this government does not know, then you are on your own. Anything that happens to you, it is not my concern. It is not the concern of this government. But if you step outside the box, outside the plan of the Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa, you cannot go far at all. And I keep telling people, so that individual went ahead to be lying to people publicly that, oh, COS did this, COS did that. Again, I'm not going to get into their little childish, I call it childish lies. That COS did not do this. COS did not apply for Biafra ID card. That COS was against those doing ID card. Again, Biafrans, let me show you. This is my Biafra ID card. This is my Biafra COS ID card for the Biafra government, United States of Biafra. This is the front and this is the back. I'm not hiding it. I'm not hiding my ID card. My information is on the public domain. So when people like that, those that listen to idiots, criminals like Bam 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 tells you that the COS did not apply for her ID card or don't have it, you have a question today to go and ask her, I thought you said COS does not have ID card. That he showed it to us today or during the Asia Middle East visit. That will show you Biafrans that are following these criminals. Following these criminals knowingly or unknowingly. You know the truth, but you want to be following them. You are doing a great disservice, not only to the United States of Biafra, not only to Obatobia, because some of you, I know the trust Obatobia have on some of you. I know how high Obatobia holds some of you. So when you go ahead and start following these criminals, you have a question to answer to Obatobia. That's all I can tell you. Stand in the path of truth. Do not follow criminals that lie against COS or against, and again, I keep telling Biafrans, This is not about me. So those of you that keep saying, oh, COS, and again, I understand and I hear when people say, COS, I support you 100%, but it's not about me. It's not about our leader, Nnamdi Kanu. It is not about His Excellency Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. It is what all of us have collectively lived for the past 2 years to ensure that our country stands, to ensure that this kind of criminality being perpetrated by these individuals that are parading themselves to the people, the unsuspecting Biafrans, we want to ensure that criminality that is a cancer, we cut it off from day one. So when they come with all these kind of lies,